Welcome to YLC, the Young Leaders Committee that promotes and grows youth leadership that ensures the future leaders lead from today by educating and inspiring them to soar higher and higher.
Welcome to YLC, the Young Leaders Committee, the platform that educates, enlightens, inspires, and walks young people into leadership from their youth. Young people, your leadership era begins today. Brace up to great leadership. Our focus today is learn to be a greater giant. Learn to be a greater giant. The intention in this episode is to get you to think ceaselessly about growth against all odds. Think growth and strive towards it, even when it is daunting and apparently elusive. To a determined leader who has the requisite complex, nothing is beyond a fair shot. If it's true that 70% of what people fear don't come to pass, then take a venture outgrowing to outgrow. Initial failure is usually not final. Don't let it be. Then give attention to the following. Outgrow your past performance. Compete with yourself. This sounds strange. For you to be able to outgrow your performance, you will need to compete with yourself. Appreciate your success. Celebrate it if you wish, but don't spend all your years celebrating one's success. That might hinder you from exceeding your own limit. It's remarkable to break one's own record set. This is all the more necessary when your record isn't the best in your field of endeavor. The practice of striving to outgrow your past performance has the propensity of taking you to a higher level of performance. Montesi rightly counsels. He says, make sure you are clear about what is expected of you and then exceed those expectations. He goes further. He says, seek out new challenges. Don't be afraid to try new things or take on tasks that seem daunting. This will show that you are willing to take risks and are not afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. End of quote. He therefore makes the following suggestions. Say, set goals for yourself. Go above and beyond your own work. Communicate effectively, whether your vision, your action plan, or whatever it is you need to communicate. Seek out new challenges. Continuously learn and improve. Try new methods. Understand what indicates good performance and emulate someone who is successful. Now, the next thing to look at. Outgrow your potential weaknesses. Outgrow your potential weaknesses. To do that, combat your weaknesses. First, identify what they are, what fits them, their origins, and what sustains them. Secondly, admit them, that is, accept that they exist and refuse to cover them. Refuse also to sweep them under the carpet. Face them as issues that must not remain any further. Be determined to eradicate them. Study and discover how best to tackle them, whatever it may cost you. Seek help at any stage of this endeavor, whether it's in identifying them, resenting them, tackling them successfully. Seek help when you need help. For further assistance, here are some categories of weaknesses, maybe to help enlighten you to come to reality. Physical weaknesses that will want you to be slow in taking needed steps inability or phobia to use requisite equipment and machines. You must deal with them. We have social weaknesses, poor relationship building and interaction with people, especially with people who could be of assistance to you. Success in business is sometimes a matter of who you know and who you are linked to. Emotional. Not to be appreciative is bad. Inability to identify and control your feelings might endanger your future prospects. Therefore, watch it. Then we have mental weakness, being mentally lazy, getting readily satisfied with own work, and so failing to strive further can make you less creative. And there are others. Finally, operational weaknesses. Beware of operational slackness and what is called aversion to innovation. Could there be a weakness to tackle and that can enable you to overcome other weaknesses? Where you have 5 weaknesses, if you tackle one, can it help you tackle the other faster and easily? Very likely. Do a little more study on this to help yourself. Now we go on to the next one. Outgrow your present competencies. Outgrow your present competencies. Leaders who grow significantly know their competencies and oftentimes also know their limitations. This is crucial and necessary to stimulate you for further growth. Competencies are usually in grades and relative. We're using 2 words, in grades and relative. That is, your present competence may not be the zenith if there is a ceiling at all. Your competence is relative because the world is advancing. Organizations are experiencing new challenges. So what was suitable yesterday will certainly need upgrade to be able to catch up with current realities. There should therefore be no end to your striving to grow your competencies. Much more can be discussed at a full-fledged webinar. But let's try to scan around this here. First, know your present competencies and write them down. Visualize the competencies you need for future assignments and growth and compare them. This normally comes to play after you have ascertained and determined your next path to greatness. It might be a great idea to prioritize your competencies. Then study to discover how best to improve them for the achievement of your desired growth. A retrospective view of how you grew your competencies to your present level might help you. Take note of that. Next, we want to say to you, outgrow your prevailing circumstances. Outgrow your prevailing circumstances. They may look like a giant. Look beyond them. Circumstances matter much. They are diverse and cumulatively impinge on performance. They can be a ceiling over your performance, except you possess what it takes to avert them. It's a great fight to rise above your circumstances or to subdue your circumstances. But it is a task that must be done if you want to rise. Your circumstance is that fact or condition connected with or relevant to an event or action. It's a fact or event that makes a situation the way it is. Yes, there are circumstances that are often not in your control, but there are others that we can control if we have the competence to do so. That's why outgrowing your competence is important. There are events and happenings we can successfully influence in order to create the circumstance we need to excel. Your strengths and weaknesses interact easily with your circumstance. While your strength pulls in one direction, your weakness creates or hangs on other elements of your circumstance. The relative result impinges on your performance. Your prowess in this regard will eventually determine what your performance becomes. Therefore, to outgrow your prevailing circumstance, much is demanded of you. When the control of your circumstances is far beyond you, then consider how best to manage them. We'll discuss more of this when we begin webinars. Outgrow your present competitors. Outgrow your present competitors. Following from earlier assertions, plan to outgrow your present competitors, whether they are bigger or smaller. Even smaller organizations can take from your shine and reduce it. Aim to beat your competitors. Work towards the requisite attitudes that boost performance. Work towards the efforts and strategies that actualize performances that would exceed those of your competitors. You must then know why and what keeps them ahead of you. Know where their strength lies and what makes them stand out. This will equip you to strategize to beat them. Direct your strength to your weaknesses, while you multiply your competencies in the areas of their strength. It's your responsibility to ascertain if you can beat your competitors in every aspect or just in a small aspect. If you can't beat them in every aspect, identify the aspect of work where you can beat them exceedingly. Focus there. Grow there relentlessly. You can then attract clients who might eventually discover other areas where you stand at par with your competitors and then choose to patronize you in those areas as well, if your marketing power is adequate and powerful enough. To these, add what a blogger offers. A blogger offered this. Say, understand the nature of the competition, highlight your difference, clarify your message to clients, explore strategic partnership options, keep innovating and investing into it. Look after your team very well. Take note, dear listener, that what we have discussed goes beyond commercial organizations. Thank you for tuning in, and we welcome you to the next session. But before you sign out, please put your comments below or via the email address on the screen. Like and share this video. It may help some other young fellow or some other person in leadership. And please take note, in the month of April 2024, our committee interaction forum will commence. Watch out. Thank you.